Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we gonna talk about units, especially the SSR ones. I made a video about how to build your team based on supporters and then based on your on the pilots. But in this video, I'm gonna talk about just the units. Okay, like some of the units are great, but it has a problem with the text and also the pilots. But if it is really a good unit and it's worth mentioning, then you should find it in here. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about every single SSR unit, so we're gonna have a lot to cover on, and maybe in the next video I'm gonna make the pilots one. So this is gonna be a long video, so sit back, relax and enjoy and watch this in your free time. Okay, so before we go into here, like I'm sorting this based on the database, so it's based on the series. So the first one gonna be Mobile Suit Gundam, and then the Z Gundam, and then the the double Z Gundam, etc, etc. But before we go into that, I wanna show you the ranking. Okay, this is Sausage's website. It has a really good tools to sort the units, just the units without the pilots. That's why usually my decision is based on the pilots and the supporters, like whether you have a they have a limited supporter and a limited pilot or not, because units that actually are lower in ranking in here can go above the rest just because of the pilot. Like for example here, Red Warrior is supposed to be great here as a damage dealer, but you don't have a good pilot for him. Okay, and that brings him little bit down the line. Just like the Flauros too, like the Flauros, you need to settle down with an SR pilot, so it's not gonna be as good as a GP01FB piloted by a UR pilot. Okay, so there is that. So based on here, I'm just gonna show you guys all the top ranking damage dealer in here, and I use the weapon effect, supercharged critical, SP, conditional passive, and full debuff 35%, which is a level 6 debuff. Okay, so all these are the units that will deal potentially the highest damage. Okay, if they fulfill all these criteria. Be careful about the conditional passive, because some units in here requires them to be dying. Okay, they need to be at 1 HP to deal insane amount of damage. Okay, like the Goofy Gianta in here and the Comfort. So not really a good unit to put in here, but you can see based on perspective in here, if you can fulfill the conditional passive, then they are here. Okay, so the first one is the Barbatus Lupus Rex, and then the S Gundam Barbatus Lupus. So I'm just gonna mention this, so in case we go through the unit later on and I don't mention them, then means that I automatically trigger the pilot and the supporter requirement. Okay, because it's hard to keep track on all of these units, because I instinctively know like which one can be piloted and ended up really good. Okay, then there's the Destiny Impulse, Dark Gundam for Goofy Giant, the Blue Destiny, Biaran Custom, Red Warrior, Aku Phantom, GB01FB, Gundam Flower Rose, Naizion, Hajiro Boshi, and then after that Swarzet. So this is because they rank this based on the weapon damage. Okay, this is not really like rank 1 unit per se. It is like who deals the highest damage using their weapon. Okay, so that's why you're gonna see duplicate names in here. So if they come out several times in here, you already know they are the top damage dealer. Okay, whatever weapon they use. And then there's the Dark Gundam again, Gundam Swarzet, Gundam Prototype Comfort, G-Shelf, Heavy Gundam, Blue Destiny 1, Gundam Alfred SS Gundam again, Comfort, the Dragon Gundam, Resin Snyder's Gyaradoga, Gundam F90, Dark Gundam GP01 again, Destiny Hasmal, Blue Destiny Unit 2, Vayat Suivan, Aku Phantom, Gundam Dantalion, Half Culty. Like this guy, I'm probably gonna miss him later on when I mention go through my SSR unit list, just because he can deal high damage, yes, but not really worth it. Okay, so Penelope, Gundam NT1, and then Goof Ignited, Patulia, Jirobozi, Geminas 1, Musa Gundam, Gundam Astray, Goldframe Amatsu, Dragon Gundam. So I'm just gonna mention the first page, and then going through the durability unit. Okay, the durability unit again, I put the conditional passive. And we're gonna take a look at both of them, okay? Because the conditional passive, some of them has attack requirement, so we need some comparison, okay, in here. So if you do fulfill all the conditional passive, the strongest one is Astronaut Origin. Cannot mention him enough, you know, like he is the best. He can also be used in atmospheric, which makes him the best. And then after that, full armor unicorn, then Sea Gundam, Generation Eternal, Blazaku, Alfred Thorn, Zeta Gundam 3, Jegan, Gian Custom, Gundam G Quarks, Zaku 2FZ, Gunmaster, Gun Rose, Daryl Balt, Nike Sasabi, Providence Gundam 1.5 Gundam, Gundam Astray Red Frame, Gaia Gundam, D Gundam First, Gundam X Divider, Regin Lace, Unicorn Gundam, Regulace again, Gundam Aerial, Gundam MK3, Zaku 3 Custom, Nike Gundam. So like the Gundam Aerial here, I mentioned in the comment of one of my video, like if you're a new player and you want to compete in the next Master League, then your best bet is the Gundam Aerial and also the XK, okay, because they are a free MLB SSR unit that you can get, and they're gonna get a bonus in the next Master League. Then Gundam Unit 2 Early Type, Blue Destiny 3, Queen Manta, Shirano Yakatsuki, Shinmatsu Nagasaku, Destiny Gundam, Alfred Gian Eos, Gundam H1, Swordia, Gundam Wal Yohana, Psycho Gundam, Tolgis 2, Hainu Gundam, Gundam Geminas 2, Windam, NT1 Choba Marmor Dio, Command Gundam, Burning Gundam, Falwalo, Gundam GP01, Doven Wolf. Remember, this is without SSB conversion, okay? Because they haven't put the abilities of the SSB conversion. So in my other video about the SSB conversion, Burning Gundam goes to the top. Okay, now without the conditional passive, it becomes Gundam G Quarks, the Rebel, Nike Sasabi, Providence Gundam 1.5 Gundam, Gundam Astray Red Flame, Gaia Gundam, Gundam Astray Origin, Zeta Gundam 3, Generation Gold, D Gundam First, Gundam X Divider, again, Lights, Gundam Aerial, Gundam Exter, Gundam MK3, Jegan, Zaku 3 Custom, Nike Gundam, Gundam Unit 2 Early Time, Gian Custom, Zaku 2FZ, Blue Destiny Unit 3, Full Armor Unicorn, Queen Manta, Shirano Yakatsuki, Sea Gundam, Shinmatsu Nagasaku, Destiny Gundam, Gundam yeah, like you see here, the Sea Gundam turns go down a lot because his requirement is that you need to fight against EFSF. But that is the good part about him, because most units in this game are EFSF. Jadi he was Gundam H1, Gundam Wal Yohana, Gundam Rose, Psycho Gundam, Tolgis 2, Hainu Gundam, Gundam Geminas 2, Windam, Command Gundam, Burning Gundam, Falwalo, Dio, Doven Wolf, Commander Type XK comes here, then Nerizal, okay? So you've seen here, those are the units worth mentioning, but I'm gonna talk in more detail one by one, okay? Just what makes them great. Like not the weapon only is not enough, then effective HP also is not enough, you know, like whether they are practical or not. We're gonna talk about them one by one in here. So starting with the Sharskelkok in here, okay? This one, I'm gonna go through the SSB conversion in here, so I can just swap in between here, okay? This is a melee Xeon unit, okay? Nothing really special about this guy. He just, you know, deal damage and that's it, okay? Go next, we have the Big Zam. Now this one, I always mention this guy in all of my video every time I talk about Big Zam, is that he is very much worth it for new players and also for most of you. You know, if you do want to clear PvE stages very fast, okay, the Big Zam is your very first map weapon attacker that you can get in this game. So MLB this guy fast, and you know, actually you have other options later on after you go through some of the other stories, you know, like the SR Freedom, the Meteor units, and then the Big Zam, then there's the Dark Gundam, etc. But the Big Zam is the first one that you meet, okay? So most likely you're gonna MLB him first, okay, compared to other units. So it's your go-to map weapon attacker, unless you build the SR Freedom, okay? SR Freedom is actually the easiest one, but because in this video we're gonna talk about SSR only, so Big Zam is the 360 map weapon damage dealer, and his map weapon is also huge because he's a huge unit, so that's why you can hit a lot of enemies in one go. Definitely helps you a lot in clearing PvE stages. Okay, SSP conversion not really worth it, like because it only increases damage. Okay, it's a stronger ranged weapon for him, but if you do have a Xeon critical boost pilot, then you can make use of this weapon. Okay, and the best thing about the Big Zam is that he has the eye field. Okay, so not only a damage dealer, if you put a durability pilot on this guy, he can also act as a tank. Okay, so that's what makes him really great. I'm also myself gonna build 5 Big Zam. Just put attacker pilot, support pilot, tank pilot. He is great in all of them. Okay, now going next is the Xeon. This is one of the very rare awaken unit in the Mobile Suit Gundam series. Okay, because there are not many units that uses awaken stats as his weapon. So if you do have a pilot that uses awaken stats, which is mainly Shara Asnable, this is your unit, but because this is a support unit, you won't deal high damage even though you use a UR pilot for that purpose. Okay, so that's his only use, as a debuffer. So again, like for a support unit, your aim is for just their debuff. Okay, and I always mention that as a debuff, and nowadays you have a lot of UR units to choose from. It's better to just aim for a level 6 debuff from your UR unit and also ultimate units. Okay, but we still use the SSR because there are missions that require you to clear them using development units only. Okay, so in that kind of PvE stages, you have no choice but to settle down with the SSR unit. So that's it. Their role is to just put debuff and that's it. Okay, so very not worth SP converting on that kind of unit because you're gonna only use them, put debuff once, clear the stage, and that's it. Okay, you will never ever see them again. Okay, but that's what worth mentioning about this Young. Okay, one of the rare. I think there are only 2 units that uses Awaken weapon from the Mobile Suit Gundam series. Okay, next is the Gundam Unit 2. This one is one of the really strong durability unit because it has both the rival and EFSF tech. Okay, so in a stage that you can only bring a rival unit, you can use your EFSF pilot because EFSF pilot has a lot of strong durability pilot there. Okay, so you can bring this guy in a rival stage because there are not many rival units that has EFSF tech, so he becomes a unique unit for that. Okay, so that's what he is good at. Okay, ability is also really great. You saw him in the ranking just now, so really good thing. Okay, now the G3 Gundam, this one deal physical range damage. Okay, one of the rare strong physical damage dealer from range, and definitely the very first one that you're gonna meet. But other than that, nothing really special about him. When you SSP convert this guy, you can get another 10% attack extra. But there are a lot of other better units to SSP convert rather than this guy. Okay, but if you do like this guy, then yeah, he's great. The reason mostly because you also have Casval Gundam, to just replace him. But he is the protagonist version while the Casval Gundam is the rival version, okay? The Xeon version. This is EFSF. So that is the G3 Gundam. And then after that we have Dozel Zabizaku. This one is so-so, just a damage dealer, but not really that great. Also, he requires Dozel Sabi himself to pilot him because of the critical damage. You need a critical boost pilot to be able to pilot him effectively. But then again, his attack is not really worth, doing anything because, look at this difference. Yeah, so there is that. Okay. So going into the Johnny Ridden, this is the support one. Again, as a support unit, just put debuff on him when you require him to into a certain stage, and that's it. Not really worth mentioning anything about this Johnny Ridden. The Zuda unit one, same thing. If you do require a physical damage taken up debuffer, then this is a level 5 physical damage taken up debuffer. So just that's his only use, okay? If you do pair him up with Caswell Gundam and the G3 Gundam, this is a really great unit for that, okay? So next is the Hildorfer support. This one, even though his abilities give him a range increase on his physical weapon, his weapon is only 4 range, okay? So only if you SSP convert him, then he will be able to hit from 6 range away, okay? But why waste SSP conversion on this guy while you have a lot of other units to choose from? And again, I don't recommend SSP convert a support unit, okay? So this is the Hildorfer. The attacker version, this one is a little bit better, but the abilities are not really that great, okay? So if only they mix these abilities on this guy, then that's it. Then it's worth mentioning him for SSP conversion. But other than that, yeah, he's just another attacker, okay? Look at the attack. Not really that great to mention that, okay? So next is the big rank. This one is quite okay. I mean, like, we have the MSE glue SP conversion chip. So this one has a 3 square straight line map weapon, okay? So not many units has this, like the full armor double Z Gundam. So if you do need this kind of map weapon attacker, and if you don't know where to throw your SP conversion chip, then this is your best candidate, okay? He has quite a nice attack because he has 2 attack abilities increase, okay? So that's the big rank. The Herbert Thorn Galgok, this one also has a maximum range increase of beam weapon when supercharged, but his weapon only has 4 range, okay? So not really the best. And the preemptive strike is also only 1 range, so you will never ever see this happening, okay? Unless you purposely go in close range to your enemy, but not really worth mentioning. Again, if you do have the MSE glue SP conversion chip extra and you do want to SP convert him, then it's up to you, okay? But not really worth the SSP conversion. Okay. The Zaku to FZ, this one is actually great just because you have a pilot for both the Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 and also the MSE glue. Like, he is also included in the MSE glue, I think. Yeah, so not MSE glue, more like the Xeon pilot from the MSE glue can pilot this guy, okay? So a lot of pilots can pilot this guy. That's what makes him quite okay, because he can be used in many series. But other than that, nothing really special about this guy, because his his ability requires him to be at low HP, which is not the great, which is not the best, okay? GM Sniper 2, this one has a 6 range weapon if you SSB convert this guy, but then again, very very niche, only if you want to debuff your enemy from far away without them able to counterattack you, then you do this. But SSB conversion, in my opinion, you should just save it for an attacker and a durability unit, because it's much more worth it to increase them compared to a support unit, okay? Just look forward to a support unit you are in the future that can attack from 6 range away, okay, rather than SSB convert the SSR version, because it's how to say, like, either you get higher level debuff or you have a longer range debuff with a lower level, okay? In most cases, I personally prefer the higher level. There are a lot of ways for you to not take damage from your enemy, whether you use sway, whether you use support defense on counter, or you use force guard or durability pilot on the support unit, blah 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 blah. There are a lot of ways to prevent your units from dying, aside from attacking from outside of their range, okay? So there is that. Then the prototype comfort, this is one of the rare units with high attack again. Like look at this, attack 10 increased by 10% and 15%. So have very high attack, but again the range is only up to 4 range. Okay, so not really usable in Master League. But if you do want to have a Zeon unit that deals high damage, then this is your guy. Okay. Next is the Comfort. This one also deals high damage, but the melee version of the prototype Comfort. So you need a melee pilot to pilot this guy. You know, look at this. He has attack increase, blah blah blah. But you need to be at low HP. That's why I mentioned just now in the ranking that you need him at low HP. So not really that practical. You know, you better off just go with another unit. Then the NT1 Chobam Armor. This one has a bonus when fighting Zeon. Okay, so quite niche because there are not many stages where there are a lot of Zeon units. There are actually some stages like the Mobile Suit Gundam that has a lot of Zeon units, but Zeon enemies changes throughout the series. You know, it becomes Neo Zeon compared to EFSF. So that's why the C Gundam is really strong, because the main story, the UC series, are all EFSF, the protagonists. Okay, while the rival changes from Zeon to Neo Zeon, then to something else. You know, the Titans, etc., etc. So not as many as EFSF, okay, but in terms of durability, like he is so, okay, weapon wise, it's all right, okay. Like again, for a durability unit, you don't really look at their weapon because they rarely gonna use their weapon anyway. Your aim is for them to just take damage from your allies, okay. Now the Gundam Pixie is also quite an okay melee attacker, but it's not worth comparing with other actual melee attacker. Like, you know, if you compare him with a Dark Gundam, obviously a Dark Gundam is a better melee attacker compared to the Pixie. So this one is the EFSF version, and also again because we have the Blue Destiny, okay, the latest series that comes to us, the Blue Destiny series, they all come with a really strong melee attacker. Okay, so Pixie has been replaced, so not really worth building him. And the Ifrit is also just a debuffer. If you need him, but not really. Then comes the Blue Destiny, the bestest melee attacker from the EFSF series. Okay, now this one has really high attack. Look at this, 13,000 attack with 6 movement. If you do SSB convert this guy, he is at 5 range normally. His EX exam system is the one that makes him great because it uses both range and melee stats. So you can use any pilot as long as they have range or melee stats. And when you SSB convert him, his EX exam system gets upgraded. You know, you have the SSP version of it. So this is the Blue Destiny, really strong melee attacker. The Blue Destiny 2 is the Zeon version of the Blue Destiny 1. Okay, so if you go to a stage where you can only bring Zeon unit, then this is your Blue Destiny. If you go to a stage where you want to use EFSF, then you go with the Blue Destiny 1. Okay, we also have a lot of strong Zeon melee, not really a lot, like a strong Zeon pilot not always need a melee, you know, because again you can use both range and melee. So you can use Gato, you can use Mikhail, really strong on this guy, you know. Like I'm also waiting a chance for using them and then SV converting this guy because of that you know, Zeon pilot thingy. So that's the Blue Destiny 2. Then now comes the Blue Destiny 3. Okay, this goes back to EFSF again. So really strong tank, just because you have this. The longer the fight is, the stronger you are, because you get to increase your defense up to 25% on top of your 10% maximum HP increase and mobility 5%. Okay, so really great for SP conversion for EFSF tank, you know. After that, the Pale Rider, this one is the ground version of the Zuda Unit 1, has a physical damage taken up debuff, level 5. So if you need him, you need him. Other than that, nothing really worth mentioning about this guy. Comes the Gundam Full Armor. This one, the unique thing about him is this map weapon. Okay, he has a map weapon with a beam damage taken up debuff, level 4. So if you do want to debuff a lot of enemies at once, then you go bring this guy. Other than that, nothing really worth mentioning about this guy anymore. Comes the Psycho Zaku, same thing, but because this is an attacker, you deal damage using your map weapon, and the best thing about the Psycho Zaku is that it has double weapon attribute, beam and physical. So if the enemy has both debuffs, they will take double the amount of damage from both debuff, the beam and the physical. Okay, so that is the good thing about the Psycho Zaku. And also this one becomes really strong when Daryl himself is piloting this guy. Okay, because he gets a bonus of range stats. So Psycho Zaku is one of a rare unique unit that you can build. Okay, now the Ifrit Neck, this one also not really worth mentioning. Just a melee damage dealer, that's it. Nothing really special about this guy, just skip that one. The G Quarks, very early in the game, a lot of players, build him, but he is not worth it, okay? Because he only has one weapon, which is at range 1 or 2. So outside of this range, you cannot do anything. Although his weapon effect is higher level compared to other SSR units, but then again, if you cannot counter-attack your enemy, then you deal 0 damage no matter how strong you are, okay? So that is the G-Quarks. And then comes the Red Gundam. This one is really great, okay? This is one of the, like I told you in the Zeong just now, one of the rare unit from the Mobile Suit Gundam series that uses awakened weapon, okay? So if you do have Char Aznable, then you either pilot the Zeong or this guy. But too bad, both are support units, so you won't deal high damage anyway, okay? But this guy can be used in most terrain, so this one is so much better than the Zeong. Okay, now next is the White Gundam, the Gundam G Quarks. This is one of the best tank in this game because he is able to heal himself. Okay, very rare ability. Restore own HP 10% at the start of every turn is huge. Look at that, you have 128,000 HP, not considering modification, etc, and like in Master League you have a boost. So every turn you're gonna heal 12,000 HP. If the enemy deal lower damage than that, you practically immortal. So this is a really strong tank unit. Okay, then next the G Quarks. This one is the support version. Has a level 5 beam weapon damage taken up debuff, but only at range 4, so not the best. Okay, but if you need a beam damage taken up debuffer, then that is your best one from the Mobile Suit Gundam series. Now there's the Anavel Gato Gelgok. This one actually has quite a high weapon power, but then again, this is a melee unit, okay? Supposedly, but after, oh no, this one has, this one is a melee unit. Even though the power is lower than the range one, but the critical damage 30% makes this weapon deal so much higher damage. Okay, so that's why I consider this unit a melee unit. But then again, not really worth it, because when you use him, you rarely ever get a chance to attack your enemy from one range away. Look at that. Okay, then comes the Galgok Marine. There is one also not worth mentioning, nothing really special about this guy. Skip next. And then the GP01FB, this one has really high attack. Look at that, attack 10%, attack 15%, making him able to have 13,000 attack. And if you do SSP convert this guy, you get a bonus to movement, which is his biggest weakness. Okay, he don't move really well, but after SSP converting, he can go a long way. So really great unit. The only problem now is that he cannot be used in atmospheric, and on ground he will get a penalty. Okay, so if you cannot bring him, that's what makes him not worth SSP converting or upgrading. You have a lot of other better option, okay, compared to that one. Valwalo, this one is okay, but again, the terrain is what makes him bad. You can only use him in space. So this is a map weapon, huge unit, tank, but nothing worth mentioning other than that. And then next we have the Gundam GP03. This one, huge unit again, but very clunky. But this one is so much better. You have a map weapon that goes through. Usually, wait, what is happening? Wait, what? Okay. Yeah, just now my screen froze for a second. So this one is quite niche. I prefer that he has a better map weapon than that. So the map weapon is not really usable. So you are only looking forward to the 5 range attack. And if you SSP convert him, he has a better one than that, although the weapon effect sucks. Again, same thing, if only he has a better map weapon, he could have replaced the Big Zam. This is the AFSF version of the Big Zam, because of the eye field. You can just put a tank pilot, a durability pilot, to pilot this guy and absorb the damage if they are a beam range weapon, okay? So only problem is that he can only be used in space. So again, if you cannot use this unit in other terrain, then it's useless. Okay. Then the GP03 Stamen, no, GP04. Oh yeah, the Stamen is not here. The GP04, this one is a better GP01 FB. The only the reason for that is that he can be used in the space and on the ground. Okay, but in exchange for that, he has lower attack than the GP01 FB. So to be able to be used on other terrain costs you your attack. Okay, but when you are supercharged, you get this critical rate by 20%, which makes his weapon has a high chance of dealing critical damage. Together, if you do have a critical boost pilot, then he will be able to consistently deal critical damage most of the time. Okay, so a better choice, So all these GP01, 2, 3, 4, they have pros and cons. So that's why I haven't SP convert any of them, even though they have something good about them. Always something is missing, okay, from each one of them. Now the Newiziel, this is the durability unit, but this doesn't have the shield mechanism, okay, as a durability unit. So even though his abilities is really great, but in terms of survivability, he is kind of the same as other SSR unit. Okay, so this is the Newiziel. The map weapon is huge. Decrease beam weapon power by 25%, so that's great, and ammo too. So if you do want to build a large unit team, then this is quite an okay unit for your tank. Yeah, you've also seen him at the very bottom of the ranking, the durability unit ranking in sausages just now. Comes the GP01 Choban armor. This one is quite okay against a physical damage dealer. Okay, so that's only his good part. Other than that, there's nothing good about this guy. Okay, only to fight against physical weapon damage dealer. Now comes the GP00. Again, not really worth anything, because there are an even better unit than this guy in the EFSF series. Okay, mainly the GP03. I mean, not GP03, the Blue Destiny 03. Okay, that one is a much better option than this guy, so just keep this guy. Now the Hazelra, this one is one of the rare Titans unit. So if you do have Peptimus Sirocco, currently we only have Peptimus Sirocco as a pilot for Titans. So this one, after SSP converting, becomes the best alternative unit for him to pilot. in the SSR series. Okay, the other one is the Rairu. The Rairu is better without SSP conversion. Okay, so if you only SP convert, then the Rairu is much better than the Hazelra. But when you SSP converting the SSP weapon, the Hazelra is better than the Rairu. This one is the Rairu. So yeah, for I mentioned both of them at the same time. So this is the Rairu. SP converting Rairu is better. SSP converting the Hazelra is better. So pros and cons. Okay, not really worth doing yet unless you do have a lot of extra materials and you do want to use Optimus Sirocco as their pilot. Otherwise, just skip that guy. Now comes the Zeta Gundam. This is the Wave Rider version. Why? Let's change him. So this one, we're starting to go into the Z Gundam. Oh yeah, the Hazelra and the Raider is already Z Gundam. Now this one is your debuffer, okay? Because he's a really good 5 range debuffer. He has a level 5 defense down and also can change into the Wave Rider form, so you can bring him in most terrain. And also his weapon can still be used when you are changing to the Wave Rider form. A lot of other units, when they change into the ship form, they lose their best weapon. So this one retain his best weapon, so that's good. You know, you can bring him in a lot of stages and a lot of terrain. Now the Hyakuseki support version, this one is so-so, okay, not really worth anything other than if you do want to debuff your enemy for beam the weapon that is taken up, then you have this guy. You know, so this is the defense down, this is the beam that was taken up. So yeah, perfect pair. Now comes the Hyakuseki attacker. This one is a weaker version of the G3 Gundam, but you can bring him in both the Z series and also the double Z series. So upgrading one unit can cover you up in both stages. So that's what he's worth for. Other than that, nothing else worth mentioning about that guy. Now the tank version, this is the DO. DO could have been a really good tank. Look at his 142,000 HP, insanely high. The only problem with this guy is that he doesn't have the shield mechanism. Okay, so his huge HP cover up his missing shield mechanism. So in terms of survivability, he's just the same as other SSR units. Okay, something that is good about him is that he has a preemptive strike once you SSP convert him. So you can put Optimus Sirocco piloting this guy and making use of this preemptive strike. Other than that, nothing really worth mentioning about this guy. Okay, he is a durability unit that has abilities that increase his attack. So that's why he is piloted by Optimus Sirocco using the preemptive strike, can fully make use of this attack increase. Comes the Psycho Gundam now. This one is a really strong EFSF tank. A long time ago, okay, so a long time ago, because we don't have that many options. This guy have a lot of tanks, can be piloted by EFSF pilot, which, you know, a lot of good durability pilot comes from there, and he has the eye field, making him a really solid choice for a tank in PvP. But nowadays he can easily be replaced by High New Gundam, the Unicorn Gundam, etc. Like the Blue Destiny 3 also currently is you know, a lot better than this guy. The only situation where this guy is still better is if the enemy uses beam range weapon against him. Okay, 40% damage taken reduction is huge, you know. And also he can change into the flying form, so you can use him in atmospheric. That is what separates him from those other unit that can replace him. Okay, he is still irreplaceable in atmospheric battle. because the other units like the High New, the Unicorn, the Blue Destiny cannot be used in atmospheric. He can. Okay. So next is Cubely. This one is also your debuffer. Okay, defense down from 5 range away. So this is the rival version. Not the rival. This is the enemy version. It is Axis. Okay, it is the enemy version of the Zeta Gundam. So if you cannot bring the Zeta Gundam, like the tech limitation, then you bring the Cubely. Okay. Now the Zero Siki, this one also is a debuffer. Nothing really worth mentioning about this guy. So just next. Gundam MK3, this one is a tank, but not really that great either. Yeah, nothing really great about this guy. So next is this one, the Zeta Gundam, the white Zeta Gundam. This one is okay. This is a stronger Zeta Gundam. So if you already have this guy at MLB and you didn't do anything to the Zeta Gundam, like you don't SP convert him or anything, then you better just bring this guy. Okay, this is in from every single point of view. This is a better Zeta Gundam. That's all. He has the same debuff, exactly almost the same weapon, and abilities also almost the same. So just a better Zeta Gundam. Now comes the S Gundam. This is one of the strongest damage dealer in this game. Look at that, 15,000 attack. Okay, I think this one is because I have a modification, but you get the idea. Like if you SSP convert this guy, he has a range 1 to 3 weapon that has a power of 6,120, can use both range and melee stats. So if you give this guy a range pilot, he can use every single weapon. Look at this. He has a lot of optional stats that you can choose from. Range melee, range awaken, range melee. So really strong unit. The only problem with this guy is the tag. Okay, you can only bring him in a one-shot killer team and also a test type team. Other than that, you don't get any boost from the supporter. Okay, so there is him, and then after that, and also he is an EFSF unit. Okay, that's what makes him great. Now next is the Seku Eins. This one not really worth mentioning anything. Okay, just a debuffer, that's all. Next is the Full Armor Double Z Gundam. This one is the rare 3 lines straight map weapon attack. So if you do need that kind of map weapon, then this is the guy. But he is kind of like a little bit hard to use. Okay, because he uses range stats, while in AO pilot you don't really have that many good range pilot aside from Asuna, because Camille uses awaken stats, so you cannot really bring his full potential out. And also his weapon is a special weapon, so you need a special weapon that makes a kind of debuffer, which is a rare debuffer in this game. Okay. Next is the Zaku 3 Custom. This one is an okay tank. I mean, like, he could have been really strong, but the only problem is that he requires a Neo Zeon pilot. Currently, we don't have a lot of Neo Zeon pilot. You can only use Rakanda Karan, or if you want to SP convert someone, but it's such a waste, to SP convert someone just so that you can use a Neo Zeon tank. You're better off just use other unit as your tank. But if you do want to use him, he is one of a strong durability unit to choose from, aside from the Queen Manta. Okay, so next is the Geimal. This is a really strong Neo Zeon attacker unit, because he has 5 range attack using awaken stats, and like all the strong pilot from the UC series use awaken stats. His only weakness is his tech. He doesn't have the protagonist and the rival tech, probably because he is just a normal unit. So He cannot go to a protagonist and rival stages. Okay. Now, the Q-Belly Double Z, this is a stronger version from the previous Z series Q-Belly, but with a shorter range, okay, and a different debuff. So, yeah, if you SP convert this guy, his strongest debuffs becomes a 3 range weapon. Okay, the 5 range weapon has a weaker defense down debuff. So if you want to debuff defense down from a longer range, then you use the previous Q-Belly. While if you do want to have a special weapon semi-second debuffer, which is range, which is rare, he has it, but at 3 range away. So really hard to use. Now the LPO Plus Q-Belly, this one really great because of the pilot. Okay, LPO Plus herself is a rare double support attacker pilot. When she is riding the LPO Plus Q-Belly, she has a special weapons damage second up debuff at level 5 from 5 range away. So really great together with the LPO Plus. Again, special weapon damage second up debuffer is rare, so this is one of the many one that can do that. The Oven Wolf, this is an okay tank, not really the best, mainly because again it is a Neo Zeon tech. So if you do want to build a Neo Zeon tank, I do recommend instead of using this guy, you better just build the Zaku just now or the Queen Manta, because this doesn't have a shield defense mechanism. Now comes the King Manta. This is the best one from the Double Z Gundam series to replace your Psycho Zaku, because he is basically a Psycho Zaku for Neo Zeon. Okay, his only difference is that he doesn't have a good pilot compared to the Psycho Gundam. So yeah, really strong. Now the Shin Matsunaga Zaku, this one is okay, but then again, if you go for a Zaku and a Zeon, you have a better options out there, okay, compared to this guy. So next is the Govi Jayanta. This one, you saw him in the ranking just now, damage ranking. He could have deal a really strong damage, but his requirement is that he needs to be at low HP, very low, and then he will get attack increased by 20%. This is what makes him strong. So unless you can keep him at 1 HP, then it's not worth building. Okay. The Gyanios, this one is a tank. It's an okay tank, so you will only use him because of the limitation of the mobile suit Gundam. Like you bring him just because he is a mobile suit Gundam. Okay. Now the Johnny Ridden Galgok, this one also is quite a strong tank, but you need him at low HP, very low HP. Okay, so not worth building. And the Ingrid's O's Gundam, this one not worth mentioning, just skip. Not really that great. Now the Overon, this one is a rare beam melee unit, okay, because his strongest weapon is the melee one. So if you do need a beam damage dealer melee, then yeah, go for this guy. I mean, like, he is a Psychomu, so yeah, that's the only thing that separates him from all the other, like the Blue Destiny just now. Okay, this is the Psychomu version. But if you do not care about the tech, you have a supporter for the Blue Destiny, then the Blue Destiny deal better damage than him. Okay. So the D Gundam first, this one also is an okay tank, but unless you need him based on his stacks, you don't have a good AU pilot. You only have Judao, so really limiting for him. Next is the new Gundam. This one, why is the series kind of like mixed up? Why? Let me see. We are sorting this based on database, right? Yeah, I'm sorting this based on database. Why do we go all the way to the shell counter attack already? Well, I think it's already the Shark Counterattack series. So, next is the new Gundam. This one is quite an okay unit. Okay, if you go for a new type machine, he is the strongest damage dealer in the new type machine for the SSR version. Unless you use a new type machine tech, then there are better units, mainly kind of like the S Gundam. You know, the S Gundam, the Biarlan custom is a much better attacker than him. His only difference is that he is a new type machine. Okay, so only for new type machine user, then you build him. Otherwise, he doesn't deal the most damage. You didn't even see him in the ranking just now. You know, so that is his advantage. Then the Zasabi, this is a support unit again, just for the debuff, and his debuff is not the best. So just ignore this guy. The Alpha Azieru, this is an okay tank, but his problem is that he is huge, so very clunky to move around. Unless you really need him, I recommend just go for other tank. This is also a new zone. It's better to just use someone like Queen Manta, so just keep that guy. The high new Gundam, this is a better Psycho Gundam. Okay, previously when he first came out, he totally replaced the Psycho Gundam. So his only weakness is that he cannot be used in atmospheric. Okay, so he is also an new type machines and Psychomu. So yeah, kind of biased there actually. Just because I use the new type machine. So if you do have other tanks, then there are better tank than this guy. Okay, look at this. This fin funnel barrier is the same as the Psycho Gundam. Okay. The Nightingale, this one is quite an okay attacker. His advantage is that he has a map weapon, again 3 lines straight map weapon attack. So if you do need him to do that, then he is your guy. But his weakness is that he only can attack from 4 range away, so not really usable in Master League. So that's his weakness. Okay, Nightingale. The full armor Yakuziki, this one is really good for a preemptive strike. Okay, so if you SSP convert this guy, you have a preemptive strike, and because this is an AU, you can use Asuna to pilot this guy and make use of the preemptive strike. Even if you don't use Asuna, you can just use his preemptive strike to reduce the enemy's attack before they attack you, making you live longer. And because he has a range of 4, so unless the enemy attacks you from 5 range away, then you will be able to to preemptive strike the enemy first before they attack you. This also has a range beam damage reduction, so really good tank. Okay, his only problem is that he doesn't have a shield mechanism, so that's what makes me not choosing him for SSB conversion. But he is quite good. Okay, if you do want to use him. Next is the full armor Gundam MK3. This one is a support unit, but with a high attack. Look at that. It's quite rare to have attack higher than mobility for a support unit. So this is a support unit that can deal high damage because of this one HP condition. Look at that. Okay, so you don't really need to SSP convert this to get this ability. So even SP converting him able to give him high attack. But that's it. His only advantage is just high attack. So if you do want to deal damage to your enemy instead of doing debuff, like the debuff is a bonus, then yeah, that guy is great. Now Unicorn Gundam. Okay, once the Unicorn series comes out, all the EFSF tank become is replaced by this guy. Okay, the Unicorn Gundam and also the full armor version, because they become the best EFSF unit for a tank, the SSR version. So this is the one-shot killer and new type machine attack unit, and the other one, the full armor one, is the unstoppable and ace unit version. Okay, so depending on attacks, you either use this guy or this guy. Okay, they are both the best when it comes to durability unit. Okay, mainly because of the NTD. Okay, because the NTD gives you this. Look at this. And what is best about the NTD is this one. When taking damage from a special weapon, reduce enemy awaken. So it doesn't reduce your damage taken. It reduces enemies awaken. Okay. So if they use awaken weapon, they essentially deal 30%. Not exactly 30%, but you get what I mean. Okay. It reduces their damage by a lot. So that's what makes him become the best tank for SSR units, okay, currently, aside from the like something like Gundam Asteroid Origin, okay, because this guy cannot be used in atmosphere. Okay, that's why the Psycho Gundam still is how to say, viable for the atmospheric battle, just because of that. Now, the Banshee Norn, this one, the support version, is okay, you know. He also has the NTD, but because you prefer not to get attacked by your enemy, so you're not gonna be using this much. So your aim is just the debuff, and as a debuffer, yeah, he's so-so. You know, if you need his debuff, then you just bring him. Okay. The Banshee Attacker, this one is the how to say, a weird one, you know, because this armor bullshit requires you to be closer to your enemy to deal high damage. But this is a ranged weapon. Okay, so you actually want him to perform in melee range, so not the best option to do that. There are a lot of better units out there to deal melee damage compared to just use this guy. Okay, so there is that. And also from range and awaken stats, if you SSP convert this guy, it becomes melee. So yeah, you cannot have both. Okay, you cannot use both weapons. Then comes Rizal. This one is so-so, not really worth mentioning. Okay, weapon only a straight line. Look at this, ability sucks a lot. Jagan, this is one of a really good tank. You know, look at this because of this HP condition, increased defense. Yeah, that's his only advantage. Okay, so even though he is in the ranking, I don't recommend building him because the tech sucks. Look at that. You can only bring him in Toughness and Ace unit and using EFSF pilot, and that's it. You cannot bring him in a lot of other stages. And then there's Angelos Hopper, Kiaradoga. This one is so not really worth mentioning or building, you know, so just skip that guy. Satria Repair, this one is a rare unit with 2 pilot tanks. You can pilot him using EFSF pilots and also Neo Zeon pilot. So a rare thing to have, you know, but this is a support unit, so not really worth building. Just bring him to debuff your enemy, and that's it. Okay. And the Sinanju, this one is a stronger Nightingale. Okay. The only downside is that you lose the map weapon. And while the map weapon is the biggest advantage of the Nightingale, because in terms of damage, there are a lot of better units out there to deal higher damage than the Sinanju. Okay, again, same thing with the Nightingale. You can attack only from 4 range away, so that's his biggest weakness. Okay. Next is the Neo Zeon. Now this one is the most expensive unit to build because you need a lot of SSR material to build the Neo Zeon, and it's very worth it because he has a 4 square straight line map weapon attack. So if you need this kind of map weapon, he is the only one, bestest one that can deal this with high damage, because the other one is the Grandmaster Gundam and he is a support unit. So this is the attacker version, definitely deal a lot of damage, and his attack is also no joke. Look at that, his attack can go up to 13,000. So even if you use him for a normal attack, he he has an awakened attack from 5 range away, meaning that, you know, a lot of awakened good awakened pilots, strong ones. We have a lot of the strongest UR pilot out there are mostly awakened, so that's why this guy becomes really great if you pilot him. You know, just normally dealing normal damage. You know, even though his strongest weapon is the ranged one, but you know, it's up to you which one do you want to use. Like if you go for the map weapon, yeah, I do recommend to use a ranged pilot, but for a Neo Zeon, a ranged pilot is very rare. Okay, so your salvation is just this weapon, but then again, you only need him to deal enough damage to kill minions anyway. So really great unit. Okay. And also ranged weapon damage reduction. When the enemy attacks with ranged weapons, reduce damage taken by 20%, so it doesn't matter their weapon attribute. This also will reduce the EX weapon damage. Okay, but you're probably not gonna bring him into Master League anyway. Okay, and his problem is that you cannot use him in ground. Okay, he can fly, but he also get you know, a penalty. So mostly can be used only in space. That's his weakness. Now comes the Shamblo. This is the you know, the ground version of the Neo Zeon. So if you cannot bring Neo Zeon into the stages, then you can bring the Shamblo. He is practically the same. They are practically almost the same, okay? With the ranged weapon with the highest power, and then the ranged map weapon, but still has a 5 range awaken attack. So yeah, they are almost identical. The ground version and the space version. Next is the Bjarlan Custom. This one is insanely good unit. Look at that. Attack can go up to almost 14,000. Okay, this one, I think I do give him. Do I give him modification? Yeah, this one. Look at this. With his modification, he can go up to 15,000 attack. Look at that. Just like the S Gundam, you know, very high attack. Because of these abilities, attack increase 10% and then attack by another 20%. So really great unit. He also can restore his own HP, but only 5%. So because he is not a tank, his HP is quite low, so this heal becomes insignificant. So his greatest weapon is this one, the beam cannon. Okay, from 5 range away using range stats. Too bad when you SSP convert this guy, he get a melee weapon. Okay, so the S Gundam still a better unit compared to this guy, but yeah, you can still use him. Okay, in certain areas, because the tech is different. Okay, comes next is the C Gundam. This one a really strong tank. You won't really use the preemptive strike, but in terms of the other weapon, you has a 5 range weapon, so quite okay. But his biggest advantage is that he can be used in atmospheric, and also when you are fighting EFSF enemies, he becomes really strong. Okay, so that's his advantage. Problem is that you need lane aim. You need to pull for the current C Gundam banner to pull lane aim to be able to pilot this guy. Otherwise, you don't really have a good pilot. Mafty himself, the SR version, the pilot, he can pilot this guy, but his stats sucks. You know, his defense is only around 600 something. So you better off just use other pilot that doesn't match the tech with 700 or almost 800 defense, and they will perform better than the Mafty himself. So only if you bring lane aim, if you do have lane aim, then you can use this guy. Okay, then the Master Type F, this one is a rare unit that has this ability, aptitude. Okay, if he is piloted by a leader pilot, then increase the max range of beam weapons by 1. This is insanely strong because if you SSP convert this guy, he has 2 5 range weapon, meaning that if you pilot him using a leader pilot, he has a 6 range weapon, okay, 2 of them. So he can debuff from far away, defense down level 5, and also beam weapons damage taken up level 5. So I would say this really worth SSP converting. Yeah, I forgot to mention this guy in my other videos, but again, because this is a support unit, your priority will be last to build him. But if you do aim for a unit that can attack from 6 range away, then yeah, this is one of those good one. Okay, problem is that he is a MFT, so you cannot really have a pilot. You know, MFT is a new series, so we don't really have that many pilots in this Gundam Hathaway. So yeah, you just go for a leader pilot. That's it. You know, just use any from here. Don't care about the tank. Okay, they won't get the affinity attack bonus. Now next is the Penelope. This is one of the really good unit to SSP convert, because he has quite an okay attack. Look at this. Wait, it's not that high actually. But he has a weapon that changes to 5 range. Okay, so when he previously cannot be used in Master League, when SSP converting, he has a 5 range weapon. And because this is an EFSF, so you can use this awakened weapon. Again, a lot of EFSF pilot, the attacker one has a really high awakened stats. So can be really strong unit out there. And also he has a map weapon. Every funnel units get a new map weapon, so really great candidate, and he can be used in atmospheric, you know, even without changing to his ship form. And when he changes to the ship form, he retains his 5 range weapon. Look at that, 5 range weapon. And when SSP converting, he also has his SSP attack in the bird form. Okay. So really great unit. Next is the Victory Gundam. This one is a melee attacker unit, not really worth mentioning anything. Even though he is supposed to be melee, he uses range stats, so that's why don't build this guy. Okay. Then we are coming into the Mobile Fighter G Gundam series. The Shadow Gundam is your debuffer. This is a physical weapons damage taken up debuffer, and also special weapons damage taken up debuffer. Even though it's at level, this one is 3, yeah, so very low, and also the range also is very short, so not really that great, but you have no other choice. Okay. You need a debuffer, okay, from the Mobile Fighter G Gundam series. The Master Gundam, the only thing worth mentioning about this guy is that he has a map weapon that allows him to bypass certain mechanic. Okay, if you has a stage that requires you to go to a certain point and it's blocked by your enemy, then you use this guy. Okay, you can move and cheese some mechanics. Okay, that's it. That's the only good thing about the Master Gundam. Okay, then comes the Dark Gundam. This one, both this version, the gacha version and the development diagram version, they have a really good abilities. Okay, after SSP converting, because they are able to heal themselves. Okay, restore HP when HP is 50% or below. Not many units get this kind of abilities. So for a tank, this abilities is really strong. Okay, so these two have that one. This one is heal. This one is increased defense when it's time you take damage from enemy. This one restore on HP 5% at start of every turn. So yeah, these two are really good tank because of that. But other than that, nothing else is good about that guy. Then the Shining Gundam, this is okay unit, you know, defense down debuffer. If you SSP convert, you can have the special weapons damage taken up debuff. But then again, you don't really have a good pilot to pilot this guy, you know. Your best bet is Agrogalski. But yeah, there are a lot of better units out there if you do want to build a team. Other than if you do want to build a Mobile Fighter G Gundam series team, then yeah, you go for all of the golden units. The Shining Gundam, the Gundam Maxter, the Gundam Rose, etc, etc. Like the Gundam Maxter, this is quite an okay tank, you know, but requires you to be at low HP, so again, like I said, unless you build a Mobile Fighter G Gundam series team, then just keep all these guys, you know. The Gundam Rose also, this one when figure is maxed out higher, then you will get the defense up, but you know, to reach there you need to kill some enemies first. You don't get that bonus from the very beginning of the battle. So yeah, the good thing about the Gundam Rose and the Gundam Maxter is the pilot. Actually, the pilot is quite okay, but because they can only pilot Mobile Fighter G Gundam series, then yeah, you know, you won't be able to use those pilot anywhere else. The Dragon Gundam, this one is actually the SSR alternative for Domon to pilot one, because the Shining Gundam, the attacker version is an SR, and you don't really have that much damage coming out of that, and you need high tension to do it, so very limiting. The Dragon Gundam actually deal a lot more damage. Look at this, power 5640, the cost of the dynamic greater weapon power increase. So in terms of damage, if you do want to make use of Domon with an alternative unit, then alternative SSR unit for him to pilot on, then this is your guy. Okay, attack 10%, increase attack by 10%. The Bolt Gundam, this one is one of the very rare special weapons damage taken up debuffer. So if you need special weapons damage taken up debuffer, you have no other choice but to go for this guy in the Mobile Fighter G Gundam series. Next is the Burning Gundam, the strongest tank to build for SSP. Like, look at this upgrade, what the hell, you know, he get an extra 10% defense, and the 5% defense in here becomes heal, and then when the enemy attacks from 4 spaces or more, increased by another 10%, reduce damage taken in here, and you can now finally be used in atmospheric, making him insanely strong, you know, better than the Gundam Asteroid Origin. The only problem about this guy is that his tanks, you know, you don't really have a pilot that will get affinity tech bonus from this guy other than using the George or Chibody, but then again, they are not really a better pilot compared to other UR pilot out there. So that's his only weakness, okay? But he also get a preemptive strike. So if you do put Domon Kasu on this guy, he will be able to kill his enemies before they even attack him. Your only problem gonna be just the energy, okay? It uses a lot of energy, so you can only attack 6 times before you run out of energy. Now, next is the Grandmaster Gundam. This one, like I told you before, one of the rare 4 straight line map attacker, okay? But the unique thing about this guy is that it uses melee stats, okay? So you can use a melee pilot to be able to deal high damage on his map weapon in here. And also in terms of debuff, he has a physical weapon debuff at 5 range away, so quite an okay unit for you to use, okay? And that's it. That's his only advantage. I think the map weapon also gives debuffs. Yeah, it gives defense down level 4 debuff. No, level 3 debuff. Okay. So that is quite okay. And then comes the Dark Gundam final form. This is the strongest unit in the Mobile Fighter G Gundam series for the SSR version. Okay, look at his attack, 13,800 attack, and he has a map weapon, the 360 map weapon, which is rare. You've already seen just now. We go through every single unit, and how many units do you see having this kind of map weapon? Okay, so this is insanely strong. And also in terms of his damage, you know, if you give him a melee pilot, he can deal insane amount of damage. Look at this, the Dark Finger. So when piloted by Master Asia, he becomes a monster. Only problem is that his map weapon not gonna deal that high damage because he uses range stats, and Master Asia doesn't have the best range stats for a pilot. Okay, one of the things that makes him really strong is this ability, increase attack by 15% when HP is 75% or above. Okay, next we have Wing Gundam series. Okay, the Wing Gundam himself, again, map weapon, look at this, quite rare, but compared to the Dark Gundam, this is the support unit, okay, so not gonna deal high damage, and also it is only dealing damage, okay, it doesn't debuff your enemy, compared to other support unit with a map weapon. Okay, but ammo, you have 2, and if you SSP convert, it becomes 3, although it doesn't deal high damage, so that's just a bonus thing for you to have. He is a beam weapons and second up debuffer at 5 range away, so really good unit, but not worth SP converting or anything. But if you do like the Wing Gundam series, then it's okay to SP convert this guy, okay, because if you do that, you will have higher attack and you will deal higher damage on your map weapon. Okay. And then the Gundam Dead side, this unit have a rare ability, because when choosing to evade, he gets an increase of 10% evasion. Okay, only that side has this kind of ability, so take note about this. In case you do want to evade the enemy's attack, then that side and also the MTD units have the highest evasion in this game. Okay, other than that, nothing really worth mentioning anymore about this guy. Comes next is the Ultron Gundam. This one is a really good melee attacker from 5 range away. Like, look at this, okay? He is the longest melee attacker in this game, aside from other UR units, okay? So if you do want to use a melee pilot, but you want to attack your enemy from far away, then your best choice is Ultron Gundam. His weapon power is also very high. Look at that, 5400 with critical damage 20%. So really great. And if you SSP convert this guy, it becomes 5 range. Finally, you are able to use him in Master League. And the SSP weapon is not better than this one, okay? It depends on the situation. If you can manage to deal critical damage, then yeah, the SSP weapon gonna deal higher damage than the Dragon Fang. There is Ultron Gundam. Tall Geese 2, his only use is just the series, okay? If you do need to go to the Wing Gundam series, then this is your tank. Other than that, nothing special about this guy, okay? And also worth mentioning that the Wing Gundam, okay, the Wing Gundam can be used in atmospheric, and also the Tall Geese and also the Epion, okay? So in the Wing Gundam series, these 3 can fly. So the Epion is the melee attacker, really strong melee attack. But other than that, nothing really special about this guy. When you SSP convert this guy, you get the critical rate 20%. So if you do like Epion, then it's worth SSP converting this guy. But you need to SP convert Miliardo, his pilot. Okay, so to best make use of this guy. So very high investment. But if you do like him, then it's up to you. Okay. The next is Wing Gundam Endless Waltz. This one is unusable without SSP converting. Okay, because when SP conversion, his 4 range attack is a green weapon. Okay, so not really worth making this guy because his orange weapon is at 1 range or 2 range away. Okay, so he sucks actually a lot, and his map weapon is only a straight line. So he sucks a lot, but when you SSP convert this guy, he becomes the best. His SSP weapon has 5 range away, and critical damage by 30% increase, power 6060. And the map weapon has 3 ammo, although it's a straight line, but yeah. What makes him the best is this one, the SSP weapon. Finally, this guy is viable in in both PvE and PvP. And also Hero Yui SSR can finally, make use of this guy, because the Hero Yui SSR has double chance stamp. Okay, so yeah, that's what makes him really great. And the longer the fight goes on, the higher his attack's gonna be. Okay. So that is the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz. And then next we have the Geminas. This one actually supposedly deal higher damage than the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz. Like, look at that, you know. He has 6,120 weapon power, critical damage 30%, while this one has 6,060. Okay, so his only advantage is the range. So if you don't need the range, then the Geminas has too high weapon power. Okay, so you don't really need to SSP this guy. If you SP convert this guy only, he has a 6,000 weapon power at range. The further you are from the get the weapon power increase. So yeah, that's his only good thing. Okay, but nowadays, if you do plan on, you know, making a Wing Gundam series team, then I do recommend it's better to invest on the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz compared to the Geminas. Okay. Previously, without SSP, then Geminas is much better. Now the Geminas 2, this one is the tank version. It's rare for a tank to have 6,000 weapon power. So as a tank, this can deal quite some damage, but with lower attack, you don't expect much out of his damage. Okay, compared to other durability unit, yes, he deal high damage, but compared to an actual attacker, he doesn't deal damage at all. Okay, Vayat Suivan, this is an how to say, a rival for the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz in terms of, you know, an attacker that you can invest on, because this guy is similar, very similar to the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz. So when only SP converting, then this guy is so much better than the Wing Gundam, obviously, because the Wing Gundam only has green weapon when SP converting. In comparing to Geminas 1, his weapon power loses to Geminas 1, okay, but his advantage is the range. He has 5 range attack, okay, so that's Vayat Suivan. And when you SSP convert this guy, he is so-so. So when we compare the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz, the Geminas 1, and the Vayat Suivan, who can be the best main character, main attacker from the Wing Gundam series, if you don't do anything to them, then the Geminas deal higher damage. Vayat Suivan has longer range. Okay, if you SP convert them, it's the same. You know, you only increase their attack. Vayat Suivan has the range, while Geminas has the damage. But when you SSP convert them, suddenly the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz becomes the best, followed by the Vayat Suivan, and the Geminas becomes the worst. Okay, so that is that. Okay. Yeah, because the Geminas weapon becomes 3 range away. Okay, so those are the Wing Gundam series. Okay, now we go into the Gundam X. The Gundam X Divider. This one is a really strong tank if you SSP convert. Okay, because when you only use him as he is, he only has 4 movement, and for a tank, movement is very important because you are able to cover up more allies with more movement and from further away. Okay, when you SSP convert this guy, you get a bonus movement up to 6 now, and also you get a bonus ability in here, defense increase. So yeah, this becomes a really good tank, but currently we don't have the pilot. Okay, so better wait for the second part of the Gundam X story to come out before you decided to invest on this guy. Okay, next we have the Vertigo. This one is a really good unique unit just because he is an alternative Psychomo new type machine. Okay, usually Psychomo and new type machine are mostly from the UC series. This is the only alternative series that has this type. Okay, so and he can also fly, so can be used in atmospheric. So very unique. But because this is a support unit, I don't really recommend SP converting him or SSP converting him. But if you do need this unit, then this is, you know, quite rare to have this kind of unit. And then the Janice Anil Custom. This one again, the Gundam X problem about the Gundam X is that we don't have a good pilot yet from this series, and also the units also just so just wait for the second part of the Gundam X story, then we can finally decide about this guy. This guy is a ranged weapon attacker, from 4 range away, so nothing really special about this guy. And even if he SSP convert him, he only has 4 range weapon, so yeah, just skip this guy. Patulia, now this one is really good. Only problem is that this is huge unit, so really clunky to use around, to move around. And also, again, we don't have the pilot. This is Special Revolutionary Army, so the pilot is the biggest problem with this guy. But in terms of damage, he is okay, because his abilities increase attack and critical damage by 10%, and weapons power is also so-so. Okay, this one uses awakened stats power 4800, so quite an okay unit. But then again, do not really invest on the Gundam X. Okay, turn A Gundam. This is a debuffer, okay, defense down at 4 range away, so nothing special about this guy, just skip. Wadom, same thing. This unit sucks a lot, because this is the only unit from this series. Like, what the hell? we don't have the series yet for this guy, so yeah, he is alone right now. Now we are reaching the Gundam series now. The Perfect Strike Gundam, this is a really good debuffer. Beam damage taken up from 5 range away, can be used in atmospheric. So the best thing about the Gundam series is that they mostly can be used in atmospheric. They all can fly. Okay, so really great. The Dual Gundam, I just said they can fly, but Dual Gundam cannot fly, this one. Okay, Dual Gundam, even though he deals quite an okay damage, but not worth SSP converting or building or anything, because just that. The pilot Isaac is actually a melee pilot, but this unit is a ranged unit. Okay, so that's why not really worth building or doing anything. Guys, command. Wait, I want to check. Does Isaac really is a melee pilot? I also forgot. Let me see. Isaac. Yeah, this one. Oh yeah, it's a range, but his range also still sucks. This one, this one is melee. Look at that. So yeah, not really worth building that guy just because the pilot sucks. You better off with other pilots. Okay. No, not other pilots, but other units. Okay. Now, Guai's commander type, this one deals high damage, but that's it. Nothing special about this guy. Providence Gundam, this one has high survivability, okay, mainly because he has high HP, that's all, and shield defense. Okay, so if you do need a tank from the ZAF with a ZAF pilot and the Seed series, then the Providence Gundam is really strong. But if you do have other choice, then you better off going with other unit, because there are not many good ZAF tank pilot, so yeah, that is the Providence. Then comes the Freedom Gundam. This one is really good for his map weapon. Okay, the map weapon has 2 ammo and gives defense down level 3 debuff to all of this enemy. And if you SSP convert this guy, he can finally be used in atmospheric, meaning that he is viable in other terrain, and it upgrades his map weapon. Okay, so you now can debuff enemy with level 4 defense down debuff, AoE, and it's a huge AoE. And also, if you put Lacus on this guy, your MP up skill, AoE MP up skill, becomes 2 squares away. So you can finally hit all of your allies if you do put Lacus in Meteor. Actually, you can put Lacus in any huge unit, but because Lacus is a triple ship alliance pilot, so it's best to put her in on the meteors. Okay, whether it's a Freedom Meteor, the Strike Freedom Meteor, the Justice Meteor, Infinite Justice Meteor. The Strike Freedom and the Infinite Justice is Orb. Okay, so you can put her on the Freedom Gundam or the Justice Gundam. Okay, they are both the triple ship alliance. So the Justice Gundam is the attacker version of the Freedom Gundam. Again, what you aim from this guy is the map weapon. Okay, other than that, the other weapon is so-so. That's the only good thing about the Meteor. Okay, they are a huge unit with a cone-shaped map weapon. So if you aim for a 360 huge map weapon, then go for Big Zam. If you aim for a straight line huge map weapon, go for the Neo Zeong. If you aim for a huge cone-shaped map weapon, go for the Meteors. Okay, especially the Strike Freedom Meteor. Now, the Calamity Gundam, this is a melee attacker. Quite an okay damage, but I don't recommend building him. Okay, because this is an Omni unit, and you currently don't have a lot of good Omni pilot. Okay. Now the Strike Rogue, this one is a special weapon that makes second up debuffer. Again, that's a rare thing to have. So if you need a special weapon that makes second up debuffer, then build her. Other than that, nothing is special about that unit. Gundam Blue Astray, this one, Astray Blue Frame. This one also a special weapon damage second up debuffer, but at level 4, and physical weapon damage second up debuffer at level 4. His only problem is that he has a short range, okay, 1-2 and 2-4. So yeah, you only use him for the debuff. Next is the Gold Frame Amatsu. This one very good dealing a cone-shaped map weapon attack. So because of his high attack, and power, he can deal quite a high damage map attack. And that's it. That's his only advantage. His weapon also deal high damage, okay? But yeah, nothing really special other than that. If you SSP convert this guy, then you can finally have 2 ammo on this map weapon, okay? Very huge difference. So that is the Gold Frame Amatsu. But then again, like I said, if you do aim for a cone-shaped map weapon, just go for the Strike Freedom Meteor. That's the best. And also the SR Freedom. Okay, SR Freedom also can be used for that purpose. But his attack is so much lower than the Gold Frame Amatsu. So yeah, SR Freedom is overrated. He actually deal low damage. Okay, so his only advantage is that he is very easy to build. That's all. The Regenerate Gundam, this one deal on okay melee damage, but that's it. That's its only advantage. Gundam Astray Red Frame, this one previously a long time ago is the only tank for a one-shot killer, but nowadays we have a lot of replacement for this guy, so yeah, just skip this guy. No. Dragoon Strike, this one is a really strong SSP conversion candidate. Because when you SSP convert this guy, he get this attack increase by 15% when HP is 75% above. Huge upgrade for this guy. Okay, so the weapon also, he can only attack from 4 range away. Now when you SSP convert this guy, you can finally attack from 5 range away with a power of 6000. Higher remaining HP is greater weapon power increase with awakened stats. So really strong unit, problem is that you don't have a triple ships alliance attacker pilot. Okay, Kira Yamete is an orb attacker. Okay, but you can still use Kira Yamete attacker because you only get a reduced damage taken up bonus from his affinity tag. So yeah, you can also just use Shara's Noble, same result as Kira Yamete, but even better because it uses awakened stats. So so yeah, because if you don't care about affinity tech, then the best one is Camille Bidan with the highest awakened stats to pilot this guy. So that's Dragoon Strike. Murasame is just a debuffer, just skip that guy. Strike Freedom, this one is quite okay, it's one of the rare unit with high power, 6400 weapon power. So as a support unit, this guy deal high damage. Okay, when vigor is maxed or higher, increase attack by 10% also. So he can deal high damage, okay, as a support unit, and that's it. Okay, if you SSP, convert that guy. Now the Slash Zaku, this one is a really strong melee attacker, and that's it. Okay, but only at low HP, so really not worth building. The Gunner Zaku, this one also one of the rare support unit that can deal high damage because of this HP condition attack increase. So just like the Gundam Full Armor MK3, okay. He is a support unit that has high attack. Okay, look at that, 11,000 attack. So can deal high damage. This one is just a debuffer, nothing really special about this guy. The Blaze Zaku, this one also is a good tank only at low HP. Okay, so you saw me just now. That's why when I go to the durability unit ranking, like I show you two versions, with the condition fulfilled and without the condition fulfilled, because most of them goes into the ranking when they are at low HP. Okay, so not really worth building them if that is their requirement. Okay, they are already dying at that point. Now the Destiny Gundam, this one is the high new version of the Seed series. Okay, the Seed Destiny series. So quite a good tank. Okay, we also have the Reza Burel, I think, or Lumina Maria, I forgot, the one that can pilot this guy and get a double support defense. So yeah, quite an okay unit for a durability tank for your Seed Destiny series. Then the Legend Gundam, this one, same thing like the Dragoon Strike, okay, minus the abilities. So the abilities doesn't give him extra attack, so his attack is lower than the Dragoon Strike, but he has a map weapon, okay, compared to the Dragoon Strike. I think the Dragoon Strike doesn't have a map weapon, right? Just now. Let me see. Yeah, he doesn't have a map weapon. So Legend Gundam, lower attack, same purpose as the Dragoon Strike, but with a map weapon. Okay, so he was a 4 range attacker, but if you SSP convert this guy, he get a 5 range weapon attack, so becomes really strong. But you need a critical boost pilot to pilot this guy. Okay, so that's Legend Gundam. Windam is also one of a really good tank out there. So if you do need a tank from the Seed series, then yeah, his only problem is the pilot. Again, Omni pilot, you know. You can use Awel Nider, I think. Yeah. But if you want to use Awel Nider, it's better to just go all the way with Super Hyperion Gundam rather than this guy. Now, next is the Destroy Gundam. This one is a really good unit. You know, again, special weapon damage second up debuffer is rare, so he is one of the very few special weapon damage second up debuffer. And if you change this guy, remember this is something that is unique about this guy. His map weapon changed. Okay, his map weapon was a cone shape when he is a Gundam form, but when he changed his form, his map weapon become a straight line. So remember that, okay? You can change your map weapon depending on your shape. So you can change form inside the stage, you know, inside the battle. So you can, depending on situation, choose whichever map weapon you want to use. Okay, it changes. So that is the Destroy Gundam. Other than that, you know, nothing really worth mentioning about this guy. Next is Shiranui Akatsuki. This one has a really strong beam damage taken reduction. Look at this, 50%. All of the previous unit that we saw all reduced beam weapons by 40%. This one is the highest. Okay, so in terms of tank, he theoretically can be really insanely strong. Okay, the only problem is that his tech is orb. There is only one pilot who can get affinity tech bonus from this guy, which is the Andrew. Okay, so because you don't get affinity tech bonus, so compared to other EFSF unit, his 10% beam weapons damage taken up reduction advantage get overcome by the EFSF affinity bonus. Okay, compared to other unit. That's why unless we get a really strong orb pilot, then he is just a candidate there. Infinite Justice Gundam, this one is a really strong melee attacker, but you can also use a ranged pilot. Okay, so that's the good thing about the Infinite Justice Gundam. So if you do need a damage dealer, then this is one of the good damage dealer from the Seed Destiny series. But then again, you have the Strike Freedom Meteor, so it's better to just go with that guy compared to this one. Although this one, the longer the fight goes on, the higher his attack's gonna be, but I still prefer the Strike Freedom Meteor. Where is the Strike Freedom Meteor? We're gonna go to that later. Okay, now the Zaku Warrior, this one is from the Fierce Enemy Assault. He has a very rare MP up map weapon. Look at this. But this is very situational because the shape of the love map weapon, no matter where you are facing, it never changes. Okay, so sometimes you can hit your allies, sometimes you cannot. So this is just a bonus. At this point, it already becomes a meme. So that is his only good thing about this Zaku. But if you do want to give supercharge to all of your allies, then bringing Lacus and just MP up, twice can bring all of your units. If you are lucky and you position yourself in a good position, then you can supercharge most of your allies from the very beginning of the battle. Okay, so that is the Zaku Warrior Love Concert type. Now we have the Blaze Zaku. This is just a debuffer, so just skip this guy. Nothing really good about this guy. You get max range of beam weapon increase, but then again you only have 4 range weapon, so it can only go up to 5. Okay, nothing special about that guy. The Goof Igniter, the Izek version, this one is quite a strong melee attacker, but there are better units that can deal high melee weapon damage out there rather than just trying to use this guy. Okay, that is the disadvantage of a melee unit. Like if you cannot reach your enemy, then you're not gonna deal high damage. I mean, you're gonna deal 0 damage anyway, so it's useless to have high attack but cannot reach your enemy. Okay, now this one is the Gaia Gundam. Okay, this is an okay unit. The longer the fight goes on, the higher your defense is, but he doesn't really have high survivability to begin with. Okay, so just use Andrew to pilot the Amaterasu instead. So this is the Strike Freedom Meteor. So this one, like I said, is a better option for you to invest on, even though he is a huge unit, but he has a good map weapon and also a 5 range weapon, okay, with quite an okay power. So that's why if you do need an attacker, it's better to just invest on this guy. Okay, you get both the advantage of the map weapon. Look at this, a cone shaped 2 square huge unit. So you get both the map weapon and also the 5 range attack. So just invest on in this guy if you do need a Seed Destiny attacker. Okay, and increase on the attack, blah blah blah. So So this is the strike freedom meteor. Yeah, the infinite justice still has the advantage of the longer the battle goes on, the higher his attack is. But most of the time the battle finishes really fast. And then there's the infinite justice meteor. Now this one is the support version. It's the opposite from the freedom and the justice. Okay, so this is the support version. The barrage, this one, gives defense down debuff to your enemies, and the ammo can go up to 2 if you SSP convert this guy. So yeah, this is the support version of the strike freedom. Again, the strike freedom, the best thing about this guy, if you SSP convert him, is that the map weapon power gets increased. So your map weapon attack will deal even higher damage if you SSP convert this guy. But I don't really recommend SSP converting this guy unless you really do aim for that map weapon. SP converting this guy is already enough. Okay, this attack increase will make his map weapon deal higher damage. Then the Destiny Impulse, this one is a really strong attacker. It goes into the ranking because of this ability. Very rare ability only for the Destiny Impulse, because when your vigor is max or higher, you increase your attack in exchange for EN consumption, higher EN consumption. So when you have to sacrifice something, obviously you get so much more out of it. So his weapon deals really high damage. Okay, and also if you SSP convert this guy, he gets another stronger weapon. Okay, so he can deal very high damage. Okay, so that is the Destiny Impulse, really worth building. Then the Rising Freedom, this is a debuffer. The only thing good about this guy is that it can be used in atmospheric, so just that. Nothing else special about that guy. Now we come to the Double O Gundam, the Exia. GN Arms type D, this one is so just a debuffer. Okay, can attack from 6 range away if you SSP convert this guy. That's the only thing worth mentioning about this guy, but I don't recommend doing that, so just that. Okay, SP converting, just use him normally. Now the GN Arms type E, this one has a preemptive strike. Okay, but with only 3 range, you hardly gonna able to reach your enemy. And also we don't have a good pilot from the Double O series right now, so just wait until we get the continuation of the Double O series story. Then only then you think about these two guys. Okay, they are also huge units. Okay, so very hard to move around, so just don't do anything to them right now. There's the Alvator. This one deals high damage. Okay, mainly because critical damage increased by 30%, but that's it. Okay, his only advantage is just high damage, and that's all. Okay, again, huge unit, so very hard to move around. And then the Gundam Russia, this is from the Double O series, I think, not Double O, but from the Unstoppable tech. He is, I forgot, is it Unstoppable or Specialized unit? He is one of the rare unit that has damage taken from beam weapon by level 5, but can be used in atmospheric. Okay, so that's his advantage, atmospheric. Gundam Pluton, this one deal high damage, but then again, a lot of other units deal higher damage than this guy. Okay, his high damage comes from this one range weapon, so if you cannot reach your enemy, then it's useless. Okay. Then 1.5 Gundam, this one is okay. Supposedly this could have been a really strong tank. Problem about this guy is that he doesn't have a pilot. Okay, there is only one pilot who get affinity tech from him, which is his actual pilot. I forgot her name. What is her name? Let me see. The woman with the green hair. This one, beside Pain. Tada! So yeah, not really a good pilot anyway. Look at that. So yeah, just avoid that guy. I mean, like, he could have been a really good unit. It's already brought down because of the pilot. Okay, so there's 1.5 Gundam. And then after that, we have the Advanced GNX. This one also get, I think the other one. Yeah, this one, the Superbia, is the one that get preemptive strike. So this one is just a debuffer. Just skip this guy. The Superbia has a preemptive strike. Okay, but other than that, nothing worth mentioning. Just preemptive strike. That's all. So no good. And then the Gundam H1, this one. The normal version, just a debuffer, nothing worth mentioning about this guy, just skip. Then the Gundam H1, what is this, the Super Swordia. This one is a tank, but again, currently don't have a pilot for this guy, so just skip this guy. This one is the attacker version, Gundam H1 Razor. Again, no pilot for this guy, so I mean, even if they have a pilot, currently we don't have a good one. So yeah, just skip this guy. G-Shelf, again, deal very high damage because of these abilities, increase attack by 15% when HP is 75% above, so 13,000 attack there, very high, but no pilot for this guy. Okay, this is Mega Fauna. He is the only one who has this tank. Okay, so Barara's Mag Knife, this one just a debuffer. Okay, nothing special about this guy. Gundam Barbatus 6th form. Okay, we're going to the Barbatus series. Now, the 6th form previously was really strong because it is a rare unit with a 6,000 weapon power, but with the coming of the Lupus and Lupus Rex, just ignore this guy, okay? Like, they both replace this guy so hard. The Gundam Gusion, this one is just a debuffer, use him to debuff for the stage where you can only bring him. Other than that, nothing good about that guy. Yakuran, again, this one also, because in the in the Barbatus series, the Barbatus himself is too strong that other units is incomparable to the Barbatus. So it's better to just build the Barbatus compared to try and making this unit works. Okay, this is a turbine, so only if you have a stage that can only bring turbines unit, then you will use this guy. Other than that, just bring the Barbatus. Okay, then the Grace Ritter, this is a very rare, like, he is the only unit from the SSR rarity that has a level 6 debuff. Look at this, attack down 35% and absolute hit. Okay, so very unique unit. But other than that, his other thing that is special about this guy is just that it can be a really good tank if only he has a really strong Gjallarhorn pilot. You need to SP convert Galileo in order to make him quite strong. But compared to other tank, then like the Unicorn, then he is so. Okay, so there's that. Then the Grace Ein, this is the free version of the development diagram version of a tank for the Barbatus series. If you SSP convert this guy, he can get a heal. So yeah, he is one of the few durability units that when you SSP convert this guy, he becomes really strong. Okay. So he also has a preemptive strike, but only at 2 range, so you will rarely ever see this happening, but it is there. Okay, look at this, like all of his attack has low short range, so the weapon doesn't matter. Okay, he only gets survivability increase from here. So if you SSP convert, then the Grace Ein becomes better than the Grace Ritter there. But only if you SSP convert. Now comes the Lupus Rex, the strongest SSR unit in this game, mainly because this Alaya Finaya limiter of has double weapon attribute. So this one deals very high damage if you put full debuff on your enemies. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention also the Grandmaster Gundam also has double weapon attribute, but that was so far ago. So yeah, this is what makes the Lupus Rex insanely strong. Okay, that double weapon attribute. Okay, and also attack very high. And if you SSP convert this guy, movement goes to increase by 6. And look at this, attack 10%, attack and critical damage by 10% increase. So yeah, insanely strong. The Lupus is the the tankier version of the Lupus Rex, because he has, look at this, the abilities is almost identical except for the attack increase. Okay, so he doesn't get the attack increase. That's why, look at the HP, he has higher HP and also defense. No, defense he has, the Lupus Rex has higher, so he has higher HP. And yeah, that's all. He has lower attack than the Lupus Rex. So that's why only if you go into a stage where you need a tough as nails, then you will use the Lupus instead of the Lupus Rex, because Lupus Rex is a one-shot killer. Look at that, the tech also. Only difference is one-shot killer and tough as nails. Okay, so depending on your supporter, then you need to build to bring either one, but they are both really strong damage dealer, especially the Lupus Rex. Okay, this one again, Alaya Vinaya limiter off, has double weapon attribute, so insanely strong. Power also increased to 6400 weapon power, but because of the attack difference, then even though this has 6000 weapon power, this still deal higher damage than this one. Okay, so yeah, that is the Lupus and Lupus Rex. And before you go into supercharge, then the Lupus Rex actually uses awakened stats, which is his weakness, because Mikazuki has very low awakened stats. So before supercharge, your Lupus actually deal higher damage because he uses the sword mace. It uses melee stats, and also if you SSP convert this guy, the sword mace SSP, this one actually, yeah, this one actually deal higher damage than Alaya Vinaya limiter off. Let me imagine first. No. Before you are supercharged, then the Barbatos Lupus Rex. Yeah, because you have a shorter range here, then when you are using Lupus Rex, then you will still use the tail blade if you cannot reach your enemy. If you can reach your enemy, then you use the extra large mace. After you get into supercharge, then you're gonna go into Alaya Vinaya limiter off if the enemy is fully debuffed. Okay, if the enemy is not yet fully debuffed, then you will still use the SSP weapon. Okay, now if you go with the Lupus, then because his sword mace and his SSP weapon uses the same range, so he will always use the SSP weapon. And when you go into supercharge, whether the enemy is fully debuffed or not, he will always gonna use the Alaya Vinaya limiter off, because this deal higher damage than the SSP. Okay, so that is the difference between these two. Okay. The Gusion rebake, this one is the debuffer, like a better version than the Gusion, but they have a different debuff. Okay, so this one becomes level 4 debuff on both the defense down and physical weapons, the damage second up, while the Gusion have a physical weapons damage second up debuff at level 5. Okay, and defense down level 4 previously on SP. Not 4, 3, defense down level 3. So yeah, an upgrade on the defense down, but a downgrade on the physical weapons damage taken up debuff. Okay, so that's the Gusion remake. The Gundam Flower Rose, this one actually deal insanely high damage, if not because of the pilot problem. Okay, because in Tekkadan they are mostly melee pilots, especially Mikazuki himself. So you need to SP convert a ranged pilot specifically just to pilot the Gundam Flower Rose. You can always just use Gato or Shiro Amada just to pilot this guy to not get the affinity, but you won't get the affinity tech bonus. Okay, they probably gonna deal higher damage than SP converting SR Tekadan pilot, just to pilot this guy. So what makes him deal high damage is this attack increase, 10%, 15%. Okay. And the weapon power is also quite good. Look at that, 5 range weapon power, 5160. And you can upgrade it if you especially convert this guy. Okay. Siren, this one is an attacker, but compared to the Hajiroboshi, the Lupus Rex, you can just skip this guy. The Gundam Kimaris, again, this one, most of these Barbatos units, they have double weapon attributes. So Kimaris Vidar, this one is a rare support unit that can also deal high damage, but only when you fully debuff your enemy. Okay, it's different compared to the Gundam Full Armor MK3 and also the Gunner Zaku. They have high attack to begin with. This one doesn't have high attack, but if you fully debuff your enemy, then you will get double the damage taken increase. Okay, so that's the Kimaris Vidar. Then the Regin Lace, this one just skip. You have a better tank. This one also just a debuffer, just skip. This one also just a tank. Only if you do need the development diagram only mission, then you will use this guy. Other than that, you better off with the gacha units. Okay. Now the Gundam Bile, this is the flying version of the Barbatos, okay? Because Barbatos cannot go atmospheric. So if you need an Alaya Vinaya system unit, then this is your Barbatos, your flying Barbatos, okay? Deal really high melee damage, and that's it. Okay. When supercharged, get critical rate 15%, attack increase by 10%. Definitely deal lower damage than both the Lupus and Lupus Rex, but if you cannot bring them to atmospheric, then yeah, the Bile deal highest on flying. Now the Hasmal, this one deals very high damage also, but he doesn't have a pilot. Look at that. There is no pilot tech, and you cannot really bring him anywhere. His tech sucks a lot. So that's Hasmal. This is the Barbatos support. Can give physical weapons damage kind of debuff at level 5, but I do recommend to just go for the Broken Barbatos ultimate unit compared to using this guy. Okay, the Broken Barbatos is so much better in any situation compared to that guy. Now the Astaroth, this one is the gacha version. The Astaroth Renacimento is actually far stronger than this guy. So just skip this guy. You better off with the Renacimento version, this one. Attack increase, critical damage increase by 10%. And with the pilot, Argimirage, attacker, SSR, he is the only pilot currently who has a force chance step. So yeah, you cannot really get that anywhere else, okay? And he can only use the force chance step only if he pilot the Astaroth Renacimento, whether it is the UR version or the SSR version, okay? So not Renacimento, the Astaroth, the normal Astaroth, he can also get that bonus, but like I said, the Renacimento is better than the normal Astaroth. So just use this guy, okay? If you do aim for that force chance step. Okay. The Astaroth Origin, this is the strongest tank in this game. Okay. Look at this, maximum HP 10%, when HP is 50% above, defense increased by 15%, beam weapons damage that can reduce by 20%, can be used in atmospheric, okay? So a really, really strong tank, and yeah, really, really great to build it. And Johanna, this one is just a normal tank. I mean, like in front of the Astaroth Origin, this is nothing. So just keep this guy, And then there's the Dantalion, this one. This one also is just a debuffer, okay? Just use him for the debuff and that's it. Nothing that is special about this guy except that he has high attack, but not as high as, the Gundam Full Armor MK3 and also Gunner Zaku. So there is that. The Dantalion T-Booster, this one has really high attack, but that's it. Like he's a melee attacker with high damage. That's all. Nothing special about this guy, so don't build him. Okay. This one Gundam Grimoire is another debuffer, but this is a melee debuffer, so nothing special about this guy. You know, you instead need a melee support pilot somewhere, so really hard to use, so not worth doing anything about that guy. The Hajiro Boshi comes with a good pilot, has a double chance step, but compared to the Barbatus, this one deal lower damage, but compared to other melee units, he actually quite okay, like very above average. So if you do need more attacker, then go for this guy. And this guy has an advantage against iron-blooded orphans, although it's quite rare. But if you do go for a PvE stage against iron-blooded orphan enemies, then he can be really strong. Okay. It's a rare thing for an SSR unit, not from the fierce enemy assault, that has an advantage abilities. Now the XK, this one is actually a so-so tank. You know, maximum HP 10%, increase defense by 5%, beam weapons damage reduction by 30%. This is actually an okay tank, not really that great, but what makes him great is that he is free. Okay, so when he is free, then you can MLB this guy really fast. So for newer player, in the next Master League, you will get a lot of boost for this guy together with the Gundam Aerial just now. Okay, so just now when I go into the ranking and I mentioned the Gundam Aerial, we haven't go into the Witch from Mercury series yet. Okay, so this one really great for newer player. And if we go for the current banner with the Gaelio as durability pilot, then he can pilot this guy. And yeah, even though he is an offensive pilot, but it's still good to have the affinity attack bonus. Then, oh yeah, Ariel is just right beside him. So again, this is a really good a unit, you know, because it is free. And in the Witch from Mercury series, he is the only one-shot killer tank. Okay, so you don't have that many options to SP convert. If you go for Lacus supporter ship, then you gonna use this guy anyway. Okay, nothing really special about this guy. You know, look at this: maximum HP, reduce damage taken from beam, and max range of beam weapon increased by 1. But you will only get the 5 range weapon if you SSP convert this guy. So at SP conversion, you can go up to 5 range attack, which is normal. Okay. So that is the Gundam Aerial durability. Now the Aerial rebuild attacker, this one is really good for SP converting, but his gunbeat rifle requires you to be attention max or greater. Same thing with the Barbatus, you know, you need to be attention max or greater. So at the very beginning, you only have 4 ranged weapon attack. Remember that you cannot counterattack your enemy in Master League if they move first before you, and also you need to kill enemies first before you get to supercharge. Okay, so that way, to make the aerial rebuild viable, your go-to pilot is to actually SP convert the what's his name? The Elan Ceres. This guy, okay. SP convert this guy because he has MP up ability and MP up skills, making him automatically cast the MP up skills, giving him full supercharge from the very beginning of the battle. Only then you will be able to make use of this guy's 5 range weapon. Okay, so that is how you make use of the Gundam Aerial rebuild. Okay. And if you SSP convert this guy, he will get an SSP weapon at 5 range without the need for tension max or greater. So if you don't want to use Elan Ceres, then you better SSP convert this guy. Okay. But then again, he is quite niche because compared to other units, there are a lot of better units compared to this guy. You don't even see this guy in the weapon ranking just now. So the Alfred this one is quite strong if you do use him for a tank, but the Alfred Thorn, the gacha version, actually becomes stronger than him, a stronger version than him. Same thing with the Alfred Thorn. In here, he is replaced by the Alfred from the gacha. Okay, so yeah, these two is the development version of those two gacha units. Let me go to the unit first. Okay, we're gonna go this one. So the Alfred Thorn, it becomes durability in here. It is a stronger tank compared to the Alfred from the development diagram. And then the Alfred this one is the attacker version now. So he is so much better to be SP converted, to be built, but because he is a gacha unit, you cannot use him in the Witch from Mercury development only mission. Okay. So yeah, the Alfred and Alfred Thorn. Okay, this one is a debuffer. Beam weapons damage taken up from far away. Defense down and beam damage taken up. So debuff. So if you need that debuff, then just bring him. Don't SP convert or build anything. And the Schwarzet, this one is quite okay. Like, look at this. This guy is quite unique because he has a weapon of range, awaken, and melee. 3 different weapons. Okay, so if you use Suleta to pilot this guy, then he will use this awaken at 5 range. You can use him in PvP. If you haven't SSP convert this guy, then you can use Elan Ceres to use his range stats to use this weapon, Omni Azimuth Laser. And if you SSP convert this guy, you can use Miorine and also Chuchu to deal high melee damage. Okay? So this unit has a lot of pilot to change from, okay, depending on the situation. So yeah, the Schwarzet. And attack is also quite high. Look at this, abilities increase attack 10%, 15%, so he can reach 13%, 13,000 attack. So really strong. Okay, the Schwarzet. The Caliban, this one is the a second unit. Not second unit. Like we saw the Grace Return just now, the only SSR unit with a level 6 debuff. But now we have the Caliban, okay, another unit with a level 6 debuff, but with a requirement. You need him to be supercharged first, and he improved decreased defense weapon effects by 5%. And his defense down is at 30%, meaning that if he is at supercharged, he can use a level 6 debuff. Finally, a level 6 debuff on an SSR. Support unit. Okay, so really great just because of that, but you don't need him as SP. Okay, you don't even need him to SP. If you only aim for the debuff, just give him supercharge and that's it. He will have a level 6 defense down debuff. But then again, you better off just use a UR unit, an ultimate unit. Okay, just the UR aerial is so much better than this guy. Okay, so there's that. The Gundam Farak, this one also is quite an okay damage dealer from 5 range away. Only problem is that the aerial is better than this guy. Yeah, so only if you need him, then you need him, but it's better to just build the aerial rebuild compared to that guy. Now the Michaelis, this one is also a rare support unit with high damage. Okay, so if you do build him, then he will deal very high damage, especially against gun arm enemies. But other than that, nothing really special. He can get a 6 range weapon if you SSP convert this guy, but that's it. Okay, so yeah, that's the Michaelis. And wait, I think he should have. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, because I remember the Michaelis is also deal high damage because of double weapon attribute. So yeah, this is the double weapon attribute. So Michaelis is a melee support unit. Okay, so yeah, you need a melee pilot to be able to deal high damage on the Michaelis. Now the Alfred Thorn, I already explained to you, just a better tank than the Alfred problem is that his tech is only lightning fast and specialized unit, so that's why you still gonna use the Gundam aerial durability if you do use Lacus one-shot killer supporter, okay? Because you cannot just bring him for that. Then the Alfred Thorn, this one has the abilities. This one, look at this, maximum HP, defense 10%, evasion by 5%. This is why this guy is strong. And then the Alfred this one becomes an attacker. Attack 10%, figure is max or higher, another 7%, critical damage by 10%. And this one, again, if you don't SSP convert this guy, you can only attack from 4 range away. Once you SSP convert this guy, you can attack from 5 range away. And you can use both range stats and awaken stats. So great, you can use Suleta or Elan to pilot this guy. Okay. So really strong. Only problem is that this gacha unit. The Revolt, this one is also quite a strong tank, mainly because look at this defense. I guess max HP attack 10% when countering. So if you counter attack your enemy, then you can also deal high damage. And he also has a preemptive strike from 3 range away. Okay. Yeah, nothing else about this guy. Like, that's it. just high survivability, that's all. Yep. And then next we have the Gels Dilanza. This one is just a debuffer, nothing worth mentioning about this guy. Beginning Gundam, this one also is so-so. Bear guy, this one also is just a debuffer. Nothing worth mentioning. The Red Warrior, this guy deal high damage, but then again, like I said, he doesn't have a pilot because this is a gunpla unit. You only ever have one pilot, the SSR1 for the gunpla. So compared to other units, he doesn't deal as much as other units that actually have a UR pilot. Okay? So, but in terms of damage, look at this, attack 13,000 attack, so very high. Attack increase 10%, when it's with 50% or above, attack increase by another 10%. Weapon power, even without the SSP, you have 5,040 weapon power in there. And if you SSP convert, you have this, okay? But he cannot attack from 5 range away, so Master League is not viable for him. Okay? So just high damage unit. Musha Gundam, this one is really great mainly because he is a pilot. The one linked with the Musha Gundam himself has a double chance step. So you can have as many double chance step as you want if you keep building a Musha Gundam, okay? Because usually if you want double chance step, the double chance step is on the pilot. So you can only ever have one pilot copy of each. So no matter how many for example, Zazabi that you only have one Shara Sable who has double chance step. But it's different for the Musha Gundam because every time you get a new Musha Gundam, you also get the pilot, which comes with the double chance step. So you can have 10 Musha Gundam with all double chance step. So that's the good thing about the Musha Gundam. You can clear stages really fast with Musha Gundam double chance step like that. Okay, that's why I have a lot of Musha Gundam in here. Next is the Night Gundam. This one is also a really strong tank, okay, because the pilot, also the Night Gundam himself, has double support defense. So quite an okay tank in the Specialized Unit series. Okay. And then the Satan Gundam, this one, if you SSP convert this guy, he has a 6 range weapon attack with 6,600 weapon power. If you give him this item, modification, if you do follow his story event previously and you get this weapon, then this weapon increase special weapon power by 7% and 5% when possessing with specified attack. So he get a 12% weapon power increase. That's why he gets 6,600 weapon power. Okay, so quite okay. But then again, with all that, he doesn't really deal higher damage than the Gundam Full Armor MK3 and the Gundam Zaku. So yes, just that. Now the Nike Zeong, he actually deals a lot of damage, but then again, this is a melee unit, so it's not really practical to use him in any situation because of the text limitation. So just skip that guy. And then the Command Gundam, this one get a preemptive strike but at 3 range away, and you cannot change the pilot. That's the biggest weakness about the Command Gundam. So the pilot is so you cannot use this preemptive strike with a support pilot. That's the biggest weakness about the Command Gundam. So then the Saikoro Gundam, this is one of the rare unit that when you SSP convert, he becomes really good. Look at this. Defense increased by 5% up to 25%. The longer the battle goes on, the higher the defense gonna be. And he already has high defense to begin with. So really strong when SSP converting, but I don't recommend doing that before you have a ton of SSP conversion material. Now the Zeta Gundam 3, this one is a really strong AUG tank for the SSR alternative compared to the full armor Double Z Gundam. Okay? So if you do have Judao, then his best SSR alternative is the Zeta Gundam 3, this one. Then the Gyan K, this one just skip, nothing worth mentioning about this guy. This one also just skip, this is just a debuffer. The Phoenix Gundam, this one is really good, like because his map weapon is one of the rare one that goes in a straight line, so you can choose a lot of mechanic with this, just like the Master Gundam. And this guy is also, when you SSP convert this guy, he finally get a 5 range weapon, so a really good candidate for SSP conversion. And you can also use range and awaken pilot for this guy. Okay, you has heal abilities, but this one doesn't give a lot. But the best thing about the Phoenix Gundam is that if you pair him with the pilot can heal. Mark Zuckerberg is the only pilot who has a heal for all of his allies. This guy, okay, look at this. Tada! Restore squad HP by 5% at the start of every turn. So he is the only one who can do that, but he need to be on the Phoenix Gundam. Okay, either the support one or the attacker one. Okay. So that is that. And then the Half-Fast Gundam, this one could have been a really good unit. Okay, this can be really strong, deal quite an okay damage, but he is a G Generation series, so you don't have the pilot. Like all of his pilots are rarity, so you need to SP convert them just to make this guy viable. So not worth doing anything about that guy. The Haro, this one is actually a really strong unit. Like look at this, he has eye field, defense increase, so he is just like the Psycho Gundam, but the gacha version. Okay, so a little bit stronger than the Psycho Gundam. And that's it. That's the only good thing about the Haro. The Gundam Z8, just a debuffer. Just skip this guy. This one also just a normal tank with preemptive strike. So if you do need a preemptive strike, but the problem is that the preemptive strike is mobility down. You don't really use this to do anything to your enemy. Okay, at most it will just make them move slower in Master League. Yeah. Pretty much useless in any other cases. Okay, so that is the EZ8. The Titania, this one is okay, but yeah, he doesn't have a shield defense mechanism, so not really a good thing to replace anyone. So just skip this guy. Okay. And then the Gyan Custom, this one actually really strong. Okay, again, the problem is that we currently don't have good Neo Zeon pilot. Mainly is just Rakan Dakaran for the Neo Zeon. So yeah, his ability also requires him to be at low HP, so that's his downside. But even with all that, like, he is quite an okay tank. Okay. but there are a lot of other replacements, so I also don't recommend building that guy. And then the Newiziel 2, this one is you know, so not really that great of a unit. When the enemy attacks from 4 spaces or more, reduce damage taken by 20%. On top of that, if they are from 4 spaces or more and beam range weapon, it reduced by another 40%. So can be really strong, but this is a huge unit, so yeah. Only if you do need a huge unit, then you will use this guy. But this is Axis, so you don't have a pilot that will get affinity tech bonus from this guy. So yeah, that's it. That's all the units that I have. I probably missed some of the gacha units, you know, but I don't think all the gacha units that I missed are really worth mentioning anything. I'm gonna go back to this list again once I get a more complete list of this unit, because you know, I don't borrow my brother's account just because it takes a long time to make this video. It's almost 2.5 hours. So if I borrow it for that long, like he cannot play at all. So yeah, those are all the units that I mentioned, you know. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll probably gonna need to make a summarized version of this, like a shorter one. So I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna watch this or not. So yeah, if you watch until this part, then thank you so much for watching. It's a very long video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. So bye bye.